Well, let's see if the second time works better than the first. I did this great live stream for you at 2 o'clock, and due to technical difficulties, apparently I was the only one in attendance. So let's try it again. This is Tara Alemany of Emerald Lake Books, and today we are going to talk about how you can use a book to solve some of the worst business problems that a lot of business owners come across. And so let me just start first by saying that inviting you to please subscribe to our live streams. If you subscribe to our page, you should get notifications about live streams that are upcoming. And that way you won't miss any of these. But our current plan is that Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, not 2:30 as today, but at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on a regular basis, we'll be doing a short live stream in order to share some information that we think will be of value to you. So today's topic is actually the best solution to perhaps one of or your specific worst business problem. And so that begs the question, of course, what are the business problems that a lot of business owners encounter? And we've had some conversations with different business owners over the years that have kind of revealed to us that there are four primary issues that a lot of business owners encounter. But we've also conducted surveys over the years. And it's interesting because there are three that are always at the top and one that is always right behind it. So here are what we find to be back on screen here. So these are, as I said, the top things that we commonly see. And so if you are going to consider how you're going to solve those issues, you have to start first with the basics. And those basics include I'm coming back on screen. And so once you start with the basics, you want to always make sure that you focus on quality first. Now, what does that mean? What that means is you want to give your best content. You want to give your best information. And I'm going to use this in the context of writing a book because a lot of people who consider writing a book for a business, they are concerned about giving their secrets away, about providing too much information. And gee, if I tell them everything, why are they going to want to work with me? And it's something that's a legitimate concern. But the thing is, if you give them everything, if you give them what they need in order to be able to solve their problems on their own, you've created somebody who is grateful to you. You've created a connection with somebody. And maybe they don't need your services or they may not work directly with you, but they may know somebody who does need your services. And because you have provided a solution to their problem, you actually can get a little bit of word of mouth going because they're going to share with others what your book has done for them. And that's where you're going to start getting other people to start promoting you as well. So when I wrote my most recent book, Published with Purpose, we base that specifically on the coaching methodology that we use with our authors when we are bringing them, when we're publishing their books. And we provided some of the most powerful exercises that we use with our authors. Now, certainly it's not all of the coaching that we do, but we provided them with the things that our authors have said to them were the most impactful or most influential for them. And so we told specifically how to go through these exercises, what to do, what we recommend once you've done the exercise, and how to use the results of that. And we've given the opportunity at the end, yes, if you want our feedback, if you want to work with us in going through this particular exercise, how to do that. But we've given them enough information that they can do it on their own if they choose to. And so that's where I'm talking about quality first. You want to make sure that you're building goodwill. Now, part of that as well is you're telling them about how you work. You tell them about your methodology, and you give them insight into your personality and what's important to you. So as a result, when somebody does read your book, they're starting to get to know, like, and trust you. And maybe this particular product or service that you're offering, that you're writing about, isn't one that's going to resonate with them, but they're going to want to maintain that connection. And as a result, maybe something in the future will. So this is part of, one of the issues that we talked about in terms of worst business problems is brand visibility. Now, when people are starting to talk about your book, sharing the content with their friends and neighbors, you're starting to get more visibility, but you also can leverage the fact that you've written a book on the topic to be able to produce opportunities for speaking engagements, podcast opportunities, radio appearances, other media appearances, maybe newspaper articles, magazine articles, different things like that. And so as a result, what we found is a book often opens doors that are much more difficult to open otherwise. It's not that in writing the book, you know more than you knew before, although you may have clarified your message. You may be more articulate in being able to share it. But what's happening is when you can say that you wrote a book on a subject, it automatically gives you an expert status. And as a result, people who are interested in learning more about that, interviewers, media, journalists, they're going to take that opportunity to kind of leverage what are the golden nuggets in your book. And you want to make sure that when you're talking with them, it's really about providing value for their audience, for their listening audience. But that brand visibility is going to come because now you have opportunities to leverage other people's audiences that you wouldn't have had otherwise. That is going to organically and naturally lead to getting more leads for your business. And not only are you getting more leads for your business, but you're getting warm leads. You're getting people calling you who are more interested in trying to figure out how they pay you than they are in figuring out what your process is, because they've already had some experience, especially if they've read your book. And so that's one of the reasons why we always indicate to our authors, make sure that you provide opportunities in the book for how they can connect with you for help on specific things that they've talked about in the book. Because what that's going to do is that's going to generate opportunities for you to have conversations that could ultimately turn into sales. But the other thing too is you want to provide opportunities in the book for joining your mailing list. Maybe they're not ready to work with you right now. A lot of the times we're having conversations with people who are interested in writing a book but haven't written their manuscript yet. And so as a result, they're not quite ready to work with us unless they're interested in a ghostwriter or author coaching or something along those lines. But we're maintaining an open dialogue. And so by giving them the opportunity to join our mailing list, we end up with the opportunity to continue that relationship so that when they do reach a point where they're ready to buy or hire a publisher to help them with their work, we already have that connection. So the other thing, of course, is that ultimately ends up increasing your cash flow. Now, the brand visibility, the generating leads, that all increases your cash flow. I'm going to be very upfront with you. If you write a book to build your business or brand, you want to quantify the success of that book, not based on how many books you sell, but how much business it generates. And so that's one of the reasons why we really focus on these business building books, because in all honesty, the revenue that you're going to get is not going to be from book sales. Even if your book is hired, brought in by a big name book retailer, bookseller, and it's published by a traditional publisher, most of the time, even if it ends up on a New York Times bestsellers list, you're not going to see revenue coming from sales of the book so much as you will from the back end opportunities. So focus on those, provide quality. Don't worry so much about book sales. You'll find that some people actually, especially speakers, will use their book as what they refer to as a glorified business card. They'll give it away simply because in doing so, it's providing that opportunity for building the relationship. So the result of that, of course, is the book works for you 24/7. For these individuals who are solopreneurs and they're chief cook and bottle washer, as well as trying to deliver on client fulfillment and the things that customers need, as well as marketing their business and filling their calendar with prospecting calls. There's all these different things that are going on, but a book, once it's out there, gives people the opportunity to experience you without you actually being there. So it's not a drain on one-on-one time that you might have to have with them in order to answer questions, because it answers a lot of the questions for them already beforehand. And so, as I said, as a result, it's more a question when they do want to get in touch with you about, how do I hire you? How do I pay you? Not, what are you going to do for me that's going to help? So the book works 24/7 and it works 365 days a year as well. So it's something that when you write a book that is based on your foundational message, based on the core of your business, the book that you write today could still be doing you service 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, as long as it remains in print. So hopefully you found this information to be useful to you. I appreciate you tuning in. I did mention in this my book, Publish with Purpose. And if you're interested in digging deeper into that to learn a little bit more about how you can use your book to build a business or brand, you can find that at emeraldlakebooks.com/purpose. I would also like to invite you to tune in next week, Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The topic that we're going to talk about then is going to be the other benefits of writing a business building book. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.